Hi, everybody. This is GM John Fedorowicz for ICC and June 23rd, 2018 SimulMaster. We'll get started any second. Um, and today, if you see me looking off to the left, it's a soccer game. Um, a friend of mine, a chess player, Mike Klein, taught me to somehow got me involved in liking the World Cup, and I watch international soccer when the U.S. plays, but I don't watch the soccer leagues, at least not yet. But so now I have on the TV Germany is playing Sweden, and Germany almost scored 2 minutes into the game, but they missed, so it's 0-0, and it's a little weird, but I suppose I'm rooting for Germany. My nephew married a German girl a few years ago, and so now we have Germans in the family. So I suppose that since the United States isn't in the tournament, we'll support them. And but actually, I think I'm rooting for the country that's closest to where we are now, which I gave a quiz to some of the kids, and that would be Iceland, actually. So I think today I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to play E4 every game. Thank you, Brian. It's good to see you. Have a nice game as well. Buckeye, Carvallis, not sure that we've ever played before. Don't think so. Chess for him seems like a first timer. Ears, certainly not a first timer. Good to see Ears. Eternal Warrior. Also, take it easy on me today. I got back home at 1 o'clock in the morning. I do a camp in Atlanta called Castle Chess Camp. Also, there's a very funny interview that I did on their website, so you could check that out. That might be good for some laughs. And so the Simon's off and rolling here. We got some double E pawns. Brian Wood's doing a Sicilian. I always play the Rui Lopez. Ears is playing the Perk. Every month I pick on Ears because Duncan Suttles might be on the way. And then I'm doing another chess camp in on Monday at my school in New York with little kids. I hope I survive that. The camp in Atlanta went very well. It was a lot of fun and a very well run camp. It's called Castle Chess Camp. If people want to check it out for their kids, or adults go to it also, and really a nice camp and a lot of fun. So I got back from that late last night. Okay, so let's see. Touch this yet. Well, one thing about sports is the Yankees are doing well, and the New York Rangers are drafting people, and I root for the New Jersey Devils, and it's the off season, but the NHL draft was yesterday, so we'll see if they get to pick some nice players to get some help. Never hurts. Jester, Rui Lopez, Eternal Warrior, E4, E6, D4, B6. Okay, I usually just protect my center there with C3. Bishop A4, I play against Carvallis. No exchange variations. I think the exchange variations, there are too many good ways for black to get a decent game. So I never really did it. So we have I started to make a move on one board, and then Raster's board showed up. So welcome to the Simul Raster. Today playing E4. Board went back to Monterey. I'm going E5. Ears, we're going to get a Perk. Touch this. Another French. Trivial Pursuit, Rui Lopez. Buckeye could be a Perk. Could be I suppose could be a Philidors also, because there are a lot of transpositions. Okay, Jester, I want to see, does Jester want to play the Berlin defense? I'm going to try it. I'm wondering if what is it, 5 months Fabiano was playing against Magnus Carlsen. I wonder how many Berlin defenses we're going to get there. And also, I wonder if Fabiano is going to work on some, look, nobody's refuting the Berlin defense. Let's face it. It's a here, and it's staying. Moving Dutchman is rooting for Sweden, and he's playing the Scandinavian also. So that's pretty good. Buckeye looks like a Perk. I always play classical Perk. When I was Walter Brown's coach, we did a lot of classical Perks, and he played he played some very nice classical perks in his chess career. Sicilian Aslan is another Scandinavian. E4, D5, ED5, Queen D5, Knight C3, Queen A5, and Germany almost scored again, but they didn't. And Queen A5, D4 against Aslan, and let's see what comes of this. C5 from Eternal Warrior, and I go Knight F3, and Raster, we're going to get in another open Sicilian. I believe that the open Sicilian is the best thing to play against a Sicilian. Even when I was a kid, I knew that closed Sicilian I would never do, the G3 stuff. And if I had to do another closed Sicilian type or not an open Sicilian, probably I would go C3, or if you look me up, if I'm playing somebody strong and I'm scared, which has been known to happen, so somebody strong and I'm scared, I will play a bishop to B5 check, and stuff like that. So, but if you play Sicilian against me, you'll almost always get an open Sicilian. Okay, so let's see. Raster, we could get a knight or for a dragon. Monterey, locked position. Tarish, normal theory. Moving Dutchman has gone bishop F5. He always plays something weird against me in these simuls, and today is no different. He's inviting me to go C4 and protect the pawn, and then it's going to be some insane gambit, no doubt. And so in the simul, I would like to find a way to neutralize him and just get some kind of reasonable game going. And that would be nice, but C4 might wind up being the best move anyway. And so I'm thinking about C4. I mean, I think I'm forced to go C4, actually. There's this, the Portuguese stuff with bishop to G4, bishop to B5 check is the best move. I don't know. Does that mean that bishop to B5 check is the best move on this one also? It could be, and then on C6 takes. So I guess if bishop B5 check is the best move on that one, maybe it's the best move here. So I'm going to do that. It makes logical sense, I guess. So I will do that. Okay, let's see. Carvalhais is doing some type of Stein. It's very solid for black, so I'll go rook E1. I have to protect my pawn now. Chess for him has gone knight to D7, and I'll go bishop C4 there. Usually I go bishop E2. You got to be careful when you're doing bishop C4 these perks, because the knight takes E4 tricks, but I think in that position it looks like it makes some sense. All right, touch this has gone E takes D5, and the move order I play in this Tarish with C5 is a little unusual. I like to go knight G-F3 and delay E takes D5 for a little while, try and throw the opponents off a little bit, and move order tricks and stuff like that. So we'll see. Our Raster, open Sicilian, Trivial Pursuit, bishop E3. Hayen, also a familiar face in the simul. Pawn takes pawn against Monterey. Bishop D3 against Eternal Warrior, protecting a pawn. And now against Carvalhais, he's gone G6. And I think I'm just going to go H3, and that's the typical Ruy Lopez. Brian Wood's gone A6. I'm going to castle. Raster, I played knight C3. Let's see if he's going to play a knight or for a dragon or 4 knights or some kind of thing. Buckeye's gone knight C6. I'm going to go bishop 2. Well, I don't know. If I go bishop E3, he might go knight G4. So really the right move after knight C6 is to go D5. And Trivial Pursuit, I'm afraid Trivial Pursuit is going to play the Marshal, and the Marshal scares me. If I was going to play Ruy Lopez for black myself, I would pick the Marshal. So I'm going to do an anti-Marshal type of thing and play D4. Pawn takes pawn versus Monterey. Touch this has gone bishop E7, and I'm going to go pawn takes pawn and gain some time. Bishop A4 against Jester. Chess for him's gone E6. And now the big question always here becomes, when do I go E5? I'm going to get my bishop out of the way with bishop A2. Against Carvalhais, I'm going to play pawn to... I'm going to go pawn to D3 against Carvalhais and delay D4. Against Eternal Warrior, with this kind of mixture of a French defense and a B6, I don't know if they call B6 the Owens or something, if that's the official name. But I have to stop knight, pawn takes pawn, knight b4. If I castled, then I'd either lose my e-pawn or I have to play bishop to b1. So I have to play a3 there, but it's okay. Aslan, I'm going knight e5 and knight bd7 for moving Dutchman. So it looks like we're going for a crazy gambit. But I mean, maybe I could decline the crazy gambit and just play knight f3 or something like that, and not play c4 and have it break out into some kind of insane mess. Buckeye, knight back to b8. I play h3. Knight takes f6 castles against Monterrey. Hayen, another Rui Lopez. And knight f6 from Touch This, who did not take a pawn back on c5. Probably afraid of rookie one check. All right, but do I get to keep the pawn for a while with knight to b3? Let's try and keep that pawn. I'm castling against ears. We're in a classical perk. Raster's done a knight off. I'll go bishop e2. Chess for him's gone knight e7, and I will play just castles. Carvallis has gone castles. I'll just develop with knight bd2. And Buckeye has gone e5 against me, and now I have to see. I think I'm going to just go knight to d2. It'll be like a King's Indian type ideas. Let's see, against Touch This, what do I like here? I'm going to play rook to e1. Moving Dutchman has recaptured his pawn on d5. Let me see, what should I play here? You know, it's funny, I remember bishop d3 being some kind of good move. Let me try that. Bishop f5 from Aslan. And now I've taught some of my students this line where after in this queen takes d5 line, I looked it up, and you know, sometimes the Scandinavian is annoying and a lot of people don't know what to do against it. And you have to try to make some advantage against it, because if you don't do anything, then it just winds up sometimes becoming like a in between a French defense and a Caro-Can type of thing sometimes. And so so it's necessary to go for some aggressive action. Sometimes trying to maybe arrange a castle's queenside and stuff like that. So you get knight c4. There's a lot of moves after bishop to f5. I think g4 is the craziest move to play, and there's other moves. There too, and white has ways for going for the advantage there. So g4 is the sharpest one, but I don't know that I want to play g4 there. So I think I'm going to play safe and just go bishop to d3 and try and be calm in the simul a little bit. Okay, Jester has gone bishop to c5, and that's a good move. I'm just going to go d3. Let's see, Brian Wood's gone e6. I'm just going to develop with bishop to e3. We're in a classical shenanigan now. And now, what is Eternal Warrior up to with this knight a5? Usually he does some locking with c4 or something like that. b4 is a very tempting move for me here. And why can't I do it? I'm going to go b4 and ask him what he's up to. Bishop d6 from Monterrey. Normal, I go knight f3. b6 from Chess for him. And now let's see, what should I do here? He just wants to develop with bishop to b7. These double fianchettos, you got to be careful. At some point, I'm going to push a pawn in the center. And I don't know at what point should I do it here. I mean, there's no e5s yet. d5, somehow, if I'm going to play this way and go d5, I really shouldn't have my bishop on a2 then, I don't think. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna go rook e1 and continue to develop. Hey, and I'm going bishop a4. Like I said, I don't do any let's see. Well, sorry, I forgot what I was saying there. So I looked at the TV and forgot. Okay, let's see what Touch This has gone bishop g4 now, but I'm hanging on to that pawn. And now I'm going to just go h3, and I'm going to keep that c4 pawn. Ears has gone bishop g4. This is a good line. I'm going to go bishop e3. Queen takes d3 from moving Dutchman, and queen c7 from Monterrey. And now let's see. Usually in this opening, I play g3 just to go bishop f4. Queen takes d3 against Aslan, c3 against Jester. And I was saying that on Raster, I do these this bishop to e2. It's as good a thing against a Najdorf as you'll find. And I've been studying this line with bishop to g5 against my students. So let's see how he does with that one. Okay, touch this has gone bishop g4. Is this pin annoying to me? This is a good question here. I could maybe take on c6 at some point and turn it into some kind of positional game. I'm wondering if g4 is some sort of move there. I mean, it's unclear to me. G4, bishop g6, and then take on c6 and try and bother his c6 pawn. But my king would be a little open. I don't know. I don't know if that is the right thing to do there. Perhaps I should have gone h3 to stop bishop h5, but I don't think bishop h5 should be any kind of the end of the world here. So I'm gonna try bishop takes c6 and see if I could do something there. Moving Dutchman has gone e6, so it's kind of turned into, I've avoided crazy gambit, and it's turned into a fairly calm kind of game. Okay, now chess for him. Do I want to go d5? I'm going to try d5 now because his bishop went to b7. So both our bishops have been killed now. You know, they're both out. All right, so now touch this. I'm wondering about, I was going to unpin with queen to d3 and just see what happens there, and then see if I could get work on his c6 pawn. So the unpinning looks okay. All right, Aslan has gone knight b d7. Seems like a completely reasonable move. After bishop to d3, bishop takes d3, queen takes d3, knight b d7, and now I got to see what am I up to here. Knight c4 seems correct, and then we'll see where his king goes. Knight takes d7, perhaps could be some advantage also, but I think I'm gonna try knight to c4. And moving Dutchman's gone bishop d6, and I'm going to go c4. And Buckeye's hit at my center with c6, and now I have to see. That's a good move. I think I might have to take on c6 there and help him develop. I don't really want to, but I think it's probably the right thing to do. So we're rolling through here. It looks very nice. Everything so far, I haven't hung anything. I'm looking forward to the Fabiano match and a lot of chess this summer. Actually, in 2 weeks, I'm heading up to the Canadian Open, and I'm going to play the U.S. Open, and then we'll see what happens with all these tournaments. Now against moving Dutchman, do I want to play pawn to c5 here? Is that a way to bottle him up? I'm not sure. I think I'm just going to go knight c3. I might see if it's a move on the next move. Buckeye has gone knight takes c6, and it's funny, it almost looks like a Sicilian. I'm going to go knight to b3, and then Raster, after bishop takes f6, queen d3, and now chess for him's locked with e5, which I expected, and now my bishop is funny on a2, his bishop's funny on b7, so now we got to see what kind of position does this become. I'm going to try knight to e2 and see if it becomes some kind of Ruy Lopez looking kind of thing. And now touch this has gone rook to e8. And now I'm threatening to gang up on the c6 pawn somehow. Wondering about, well, I mean, one thing is I'm not going to leave that knight on f3 in a way where I have to take back with double pawns. So in this position, I'm thinking about knight to e5, and if he goes bishop to f8, just to develop. So I think I'm gonna try knight to e5. There's some kind of pin on the file, but I think that bishop g5 or bishop f4 is happening on next move, so I think it's okay. a4 against Brian Wood. Okay, Hayen is the same game as we have here. I'm afraid of the Marshall. I said that already, so I'm going d4. That's a kind of an anti-Marshall, and that's the same thing that's going on in the next game with Trivial Pursuit. Carvallis went h5, a very strange move. Not sure I understand it. I'm continuing with my Ruy Lopez ideas with knight f1. Ears has gone knight c6. I'm going h3. Moving Dutchman has gone c6. Rook e1 seems reasonable. I'm almost tempted to go d5, but probably he gets some center there. So I'm just going to go rook E1, slight space advantage. Against Raster, rook D1, bothering the backward pawn. Pawn takes E3 against Jester. Buckeye, bishop to E6. Okay, now it really does look like, it's funny, it looks like some kind of Sicilian, and he wants to go D5, and do I just stop him by going bishop to F3? And it's kind of like a Najdorf a little bit. So I'm going to go bishop to F3 and put an end to D5. Bishop C2 against Trivial Pursuit. After knight A5, I must keep that bishop. Okay, Brian Wood, on the capture, knight takes D4 or bishop takes D4, which one is better? The thing is, queen takes D4 allows me to put my queen in a different place while the bishop is on D4. I think I'm going to take I don't know. I think I'm just going to take it back with the bishop there. Okay, queen C7 from touch this. And now I'm looking. Bishop F4 feels too nice. I think I have to do it. Knight C5 from chess for him. This has turned into some kind of strange thing also. Now, chess for him is forking two of my pawns. I didn't think about this when I was just going to go knight to G3, but chess for him, I think he might be making me go back here. If I have to go I have to go knight back to C3. So he caught me with a good one there. All right, so now against bishop E7 against Raster, I'm going to go knight to D5. Knight to G4 from Monterey, and let's see what he is up to here with this. Looks like all the other games. I think that everything seems to be pretty normal for the moment. Then I'm going to the U.S. Open in Wisconsin, and in Wisconsin it could be a cheese tournament instead of a chess tournament. But it's the U.S. Open there, and it was there, I think, about 4 or 5 years ago. It's a nice place. It's not really Madison, Wisconsin. It's like Middleton or something like that. But it's a nice hotel, and there's some stuff there, and it's pretty decent, and so that should be good too. So a couple of tournaments, and then maybe something on Labor Day also. So maybe 3 tournaments during the summer. So we'll see how it goes. All right, let's see what we got here. Back to the games. After knight to G4, I think I'm just going to go rook to C1. Whenever the queen's on C8, it seems like rook to C1 is a reasonable kind of idea. Pinning the knight, just developing, and you never know when a rook C3 lift is going to happen and get into some kind of solid position. Hayden's going knight takes D4. I trade the knights. This turns into a little bit of a gambit. Usually they're a very small sort of gambit. And now let's see what happened here. Queen C7 was played by Aslan, and I don't know on Queen C7. Am I up? Do I have choices here? Anything strange here? Wondering about Queen F3 to come out fast with Bishop F4. Wondering maybe about G3 and Bishop F4. Is my Queen good on F3? That's the question. Okay, I'm gonna try Queen F3 against Aslan and see if I can come out fast. Knight H7 from Carvallis, and I'm gonna go Knight G3. Seems like the right thing to do there. Castles, Kingston for Brian Wood, and A5, sort of putting a bind on his queen side seems correct. Bishop takes F3 against Ears, and now against Jester, I have the option of Bishop C2. But I think Bishop B3 looks like the right thing to do. And Bishop C2 has its points also, but I think I'm going to go, I think I'm going to go Bishop C2 so that in a little while there's no knight A5 tempo. E5 against Hayen. Moving Dutchman's gone Queen C7. And I'm looking here. I'm looking to see if D5 is something I should do. I mean, it's interesting. Also, is C5 something I should do? A couple of hits there. D5, I guess would he go C takes and pawn takes and then E5, and then I might have knight B5 or something like that. I don't know if that's worth it. Well, I don't know. I think I'm going to try it. He might have a crazy castle's queenside or something like that. And every game we have, he does something very sharp. So we'll see what happens with this, and I'm just keeping an eye on If I go d5 and he castles queenside, I take on e6. I'm keeping an eye on if he has any sort of attacks. I think I'll just go for bishop g5 and play normal. Okay, now knight e4 against touch this. What's happening here? He's trying to get his pawn back. Do I have any good discoveries? This is the question here. I could maybe protect the pawn with the queen to d4 or something. Another move I'm looking at is pawn to f3, but he does he have any sharp moves there after that? So where should I go here? Queen d4. I'm tempted to do actually, just to protect the pawn and protect the knight. But then no. But then I walk into bishop f6, so that's not going to be good. So knight e4 is kind of a tricky move here. What other moves can I think about? Let's see if f3 takes on c5. So where can my queen go here? I mean, rook takes e4 is a little bit nuts, but I have 2 pawns for the exchange, and I'm threatening a third one. But then when he goes bishop to f6, I'm all tied up. So what's the deal with that? Is I'm wondering. I mean, you got to be pretty brave to walk into some of these tactics here. So I don't know if I really want to do this. It's a very risky business to do rook takes e4. All right, but let's do it. I'm going to do it. I don't know. I'm not sure about it though. Okay, Trivial Pursuit, rook c8. I'm going to go h3. Queen takes d5 against Raster. Bishop opposite color position. Eternal Warrior went knight a5 back. b4, knight back to c6. I mean, I don't really understand it. It has to be nice for me, right? I mean, I can't imagine that hurting me. So, and Heyen has gone knight e8. Now c3 becomes a gambit. A friend of mine, GM Ilya Gurevich, taught me this kind of way to play a while back. Okay, now let's see what to do against chess for him. Chess for him, I'm going to go pawn to b4, make his knight go back. Rook c8 against Buckeye. I'm just going to go bishop to e3. Looks like a normal thing where I can start to work on his backward pawn. And also, I want to keep the knights off and avoid tricks. Okay, Heyen has gone knight to b6, and now, do I have any ideas here? Like bishop, if I go bishop f4, can I castle queenside fast? Is what I'm wondering. I'm gonna try bishop to f4 on Aslan, and ears. I'm gonna take on e5. Brian Wood's gone queen c7, and do I want to go bishop to b6? I'm gonna go bishop b6. If worse comes to worse, I could always retreat. Moving Dutchman, h6, bishop to h4. Queen takes e4 against touch. This is my most dangerous position. Bishop takes f4, knight takes f4 against Monterey. Pawn to c3 against Raster. And knight to e7, offering a trade of bishops against Carvallis. And I think I'm just going to keep those light squared bishops on with bishop to c2. And see if I could take advantage of his king side later on. D takes e5 against ears, knight e2. And h6 from Jester, and I guess I'll just develop with knight b d2. Aslan has gone queen to d8, and now I'm looking to see what sort of moves do I have here. I'm wondering about if I take on b6, what's he taking it back with? He could take it back with a pawn. I think Aslan and Sweden seems to have scored, and they're up 1-0 over Germany. Well, that's a big deal because Germany won last time, I remember, and so let's see what to do here against Aslan. How can I juice this position up? I mean, knight takes b6, pawn takes b6. If I castle on the queen side, is my king in any danger? I'm going to try knight takes b6, see what happens here. Queen c8 from touch this, and now this is another pawn on. Is this another pawn I could take on c6 is what I'm wondering here. Or does he have some kind of in-between move to hassle me? So, and also, I mean, I have knight takes c6, but then he has bishop takes c5. What's this one about? So, Is there any other useful place for me to put my queen to unpin? But so the one that I'm looking at here is queen takes c6, and does he have queen takes f5? Or queen f5 straight out, hitting my bishop and maybe trying to get at my queenside pawns. So I would like to play some sort of solid move here, and what would that be? Unpinning, if I'm not going to snatch the pawn, unpinning would seem to be the sensible thing to do. So I'm going to try queen to c4. Knight to d7, chess for him, and I'm going to go pawn to a5. I have to try to get in there. Ears has gone queen e7, and I'll go c3. Bishop d7, correct. Absolutely the correct retreat from Trivial Pursuit. Trying to get some c6 action perhaps going, and we'll see how this goes. Now, what's a good development move for me here? I was almost thinking about knight to a3, and a4 is kind of a typical thing to do also in these, so I'm going to try a4. Queen c6 from Brian Wood. We have to see, is his queen okay there, or will he walk into some bishop to f3 thing at some point? All right, I'm going to try bishop to f3. Queen takes b6 from Aslan. I'm going to cancel queenside. Knight takes c3 against Hayen, so turn into a gambit. And now we have Carvallis has gone f5. But Carvallis' kingside is really a loose kind of thing here. So, I mean, there's no way he's going to recapture on f5 with a pawn because h5 is hanging. So then I get the e4 square, kind of like a King's Indian. So that has to be a good thing for me. a6 against Buckeye. And now against Buckeye, is b5 bothering me? Do I just want to ignore it and go and go in there with my queen? Queen d2, logical move, pile on the backward pawn. If his pawn got to b4, knight d5, he would take with the bishop. How would that work? Okay, I'm going to try queen to d2 against Buckeye. Seems like a reasonable thing. And let's see how that goes. All right, Jester has gone bishop g4. I'm going to go h3. Raster's gone knight to d7. Now, the thing for Raster is I have to see, can he arrange playing for, can he arrange some d5 playing for at some point if he goes knight f3? So I'm going to castle. Rook takes f4 for Monterey. I go pawn takes f4. He goes queen takes f4. And then we go, see, what is the story with that there? Okay, so we had knight g4, rook c1, and then he took, and typical exchange sack there. The only thing with the only thing with this exchange sack really is that it's doesn't have a lot of support. So this is the question. You know, what's the support? And so I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if I had this game. Chess for him has gone f5, and the board switched somehow. So I'm going to go knight g5, and I'm getting into that e6 square, I think, right? Am I or am I not getting into the square? Okay, Aslan has 777 has gone e6, and now I'm checking this out, what to do here. Bishop to e5 a good move? Trying to get him before he castles. Okay, now, do I have any tricks here against Trivial Pursuit? The knight takes e5 trick, is it working here? Knight takes e5, pawn takes, and d6 trapping the bishop. I'm going to try it out. Okay, Ears has gone knight a5, trying to bother me on the c4 square. I'm going to go queen a4 and see if I can put an end to that. E5 from Brian Wood. Now, the thing with Brian Wood is that is at what moment can I do something to him here? The big question would be something concerning a knight coming to d5. I'm going to try queen to d3 against Brian Wood. Okay, bishop to f6 from touch this, hitting my knight on d3, forcing me backwards, I assume. I'm looking at ideas. Rook e1, I get pinned some more. Maybe he has queen f5 there. So I'm going to go knight to d3. So I have a 4-2 on the queen side. My position's solid, but the exchange is the exchange, right? Okay, I think h3 against Monterey I have to do. And knight takes f5 from Carvallis. We expected. And now what do I like here? I'm going to go for knight to e4 and try and use that d5 square. Queen back to d3 against Raster. Knight d5 from Aslan. And now, let's see, how will he develop here? Is he going to get some f6 thing in? I'm going to try knight takes d5 and see if I could keep him from moving his bishop in any kind of way. c6 from Hayen, and now I have to see how to bottle him up here. I'm going to try queen to f3. Chess for him has gotten out of the knight e6 fork by moving his rook, but knight e6 looks a little annoying, so I'm going to drop that guy in there and see what happens. Against moving Dutchman, he's surely going to go g5, but I don't know. Am I afraid of that? I'm not sure. I'm going to go queen e2. Get out of the way of his rook. King b1 against Aslan looks like the right thing to do. b6 from Ears seemed like the right thing for him to do. And now I guess I just go rook to d1. And maybe white's a little better there because of the bishop pair. Bishop h5 at Jester, I go queen e1. And now Brian Wood, what's happening here? At what moment? Well, he's gone bishop e6 threatening bishop c4. At what moment is the right moment for me to drop into d5? I think the right moment must be now. So I'm dropping into d5. Trivial Pursuit's gone c takes d5. And now I think I'm just going to go knight takes d7. Raster has gone rook fc8. And I'm looking here, what is he trying to do to me? I would like to reorganize my knight. I'm going to try knight to d2 and see if I can reorganize this one. Exchange sack from Chess for him. Very shocking. Shocking exchange sack. I'm just going to take it back. I have a pawn on e6. I feel very happy about this. And now Aslan has gone f6. And I'm just going to go bishop back to g3 and see if I can work on his e6 pawn in a little while. Okay, now queen c7. It's the same kind of situation as in one of the other games. What's the right moment for me to drop in to d5 here? He would have to take with the bishop on d5. And then what happens after that? Pawn takes. And then can he go knight into d4? I'm not so sure that he can. But rook f to d1 feels like the right move first. Bother the backward pawn. And now let's see. What's the fastest way to get big action going against Chess for him? I think first take on b6 to weaken the d6 pawn. Pawn takes d5 against Brian Wood. Bishop to g3 against moving Dutchman. And against Raster, he's gone b5. I got to see what he's up to here. I'm just going to go rook f to e1. It's a very slow positional game. You get these things sometimes. Trivial Pursuit, it seems like pawn takes b5 should be a good move for me. And castle's queenside from Aslan, so we both castle queenside. Okay, now, do I have anything crazy here I'm wondering about? Crazy would be, I don't know. I mean, I was looking to see if c4 would be a move or something like that. First, let me go rook to e1 and see if I could tie him down to e6 a little bit. Touches has gone bishop to g6. And now, what's he trying to do to me now? Rook e4 looks like some kind of annoying thing here. So he gets rook e4, and my queen is a little messed up, and he's threatening, a pawn on. Well, he's not really threatening the pawn on b2. So what should I do here? Do I have to get my queen out of the way? I don't want to give him that pawn on b2, but rook e4 is a really annoying kind of thing. What's a way to try to keep everything here? I don't know. Knight a5 looks a little strange, so I have to stop this rook e4. What about f3? All right, I think I'm going to go for f3. My king's a little loose, but my pieces are around there, so I think it's decent. He may win a pawn back, but I mean, all that means is that my exchange sack, I didn't have a great feeling about it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, Jester's gone knight h7. I'm going to go knight h4. And now c takes b6, chess for him. And now do I want to open him up? But the thing is, if I take on f5, he might get a huge wall of pawns later. That's very controversial. All right, I think bishop g5 looks nice for me in this position. Or should I take it and then go bishop g5? No, bishop g5 straight off. Okay, now, Carvalhais has gone bishop to c6, and I feel like I was trying to use this this e6 square and stuff like that. So what would happen here? The first thing is I'm going to look at bishop to b3 check to see if I could work on the f7 square or something like that. All right, I'm going to try bishop to b3 check, see if I can work on that. d5 from Heian. Okay, I'm going to go en passant and see what happens. Trivial Pursuit. Queen takes b5 feels like the right move for me. I'm looking it over a little bit, and I don't know. I mean, I'm up a pawn, and I still seem really solid. Is this a winning position already for me? It feels like it might be. I could take back on d5, but no, let me keep my pawns together. I'm just going to go queen takes d5. Brian Wood has offered a queen trade on b5. Now, I could maybe take that trade and try and win his b pawn later, or should I just use the tempo for c4? I'm looking at c4. I have to give queen takes b2 a look, but then I have rook to b1 trapping his queen, right? So c4 has got to be the right move. What if he declines the trade? What if he just goes queen to b4? I don't know. That would be awfully brave for him. His queen might get trapped. But still, the easiest thing to do somehow seems to be to bother that pawn. I don't know. I think c4's got to be the right move there. Okay, rook a b8 from Raster. And I'm looking to see, should I just put, I'm looking at knight f1. Does he want to go b4 at some moment is the big question. I'm going to go a3 first, and then no doubt he'll go a5. Uh-oh. Aslan has sort of violated a rule here. I mean, he broke with his king with two pieces not developed. Move 18. His bishop's still on f8. His rook is still on h8. What's happening here? Why can't I just take on e5? I don't understand this move. So what am I missing? I'm taking on e5. Bishop takes g3 against moving Dutchman. I'm taking back with the h pawn. I'm not afraid of the open file. At least I don't think so. Okay, now against Heian. Do I want to snatch my pawn back on c6, or do I want to just go knight e4 and try and come out real fast with the pieces? It's a good question. I'm going to go knight e4 and trying to come out fast with the pieces. Knight back to h6 from Monterrey. This is a very sharp game here. h6, knight h3, knight h6, and now I feel like that I've sent him backwards there. And what's a good move for me here? I'm looking at something like maybe rook to e1, maybe bishop to b5, or maybe rook to c3s could be moves here. There's a lot of I got a lot of decent moves. I just got to keep an eye on how fast he develops, and if my king gets messed up. Here's another one. Maybe queen e2 could be good. The only thing I should keep an eye on to see if e5 is some sort of move there. To take on h3 could be some sort of aggravation. Interesting. Maybe my best move is king g2. Play a little defense. What's happening with that? All right, I'm gonna go king g2. Play a little defense. Chess for him has gone h6, probably the best move. I'm going to take on e7. Rook c5 from Trivial Pursuit, and I'm just going to retreat my queen to where? Looks like queen to d1 is the best place. Sometimes you go back to where you come from, it should be the best. And now back to Aslan 777. What's happening here? Why can't I take on e5 with something, with anything? Rook takes... e5 feels like the right move, doesn't it? And that just looks pretty winning for me. We got Brian Wood to retreat with queen d7, and now we're going to get the queen side going with pawn to b4. And now, chess for him, do I want to open it up first with pawn takes and then do knight d5, or then do bishop d5? Good question. I am going to take on f5 first. Queen g4 from Jester, and hold on. Has something bad just happened to Jester? Something bad may have happened to Jester. Rook to f5. And what's the situation here? Knight b d7 from Ears. Not knight b d7, knight b7 from Ears. And Ears is redeploying his knight. But I don't know. I'm warning about queen c6, but then I think he goes knight a5 again. So this should be a position. I think I'm going to double rooks. and that looks like reasonable play. Slight edge for white here, bishop pair. Okay, now Trivial Pursuit has gone knight c4. Do I just want to trade these knights on d2? Does that seem okay for me? I could go b3 and give his knights the boot and try and develop fast. Yeah, b3, give the knight the boot, come out with bishop to e3 fast, seems right. Okay, chess for him. I'm checking out queen h5 at this moment or knight d5. They all look pretty nice. Let's see what happens on queen h5 hitting his f-pawn. I think I'm going to go for that. Just one move that I need to look at, and well, all right. No, I think against chess for him, knight d5 looks like it's the best move. Let's just bother him there. Okay, now move-in Dutchman, rook dg8. I think against move-in Dutchman, I'm going to try to crack him with d5 right away. All right, Aslan 777's gone bishop to d6, and now why can't I just go rook takes d5? And then if he takes on g3, also I have in between moves. Does the in-between move do anything? I'm going to go queen g4 check. It might be useful to have a recapture on g3 with check there. Okay, knight f5 for Monterrey. And I think, again, on Monterrey, do I want to just take on f5? I'm just going to capture on f5. Now, what are we doing against Brian Wood? Brian has gone bishop to d8. And I'm just going to retreat bishop back to e3. Keep the bishop pair. Rook c5 from Trivial Pursuit, giving me a lot of time here. I think I'm just going to go bishop to e3. And now what to do against Monterrey? What kind of threats does he have here? Is e5 something I should be concerned with? I was thinking that on e5 I would just go knight e5. Also, what about some defense? I'm going to go rook to c3. Looks like a decent defensive move. What to take back on d5 with chess for him? I think with the bishop. Rook takes d5 from Aslan and causing lots of trades, up 2 pawns. I don't know why he did that. It seemed like a decent position. I was better, but not so easy. Okay, Buckeye has gone rook fd8, and now I'm looking to see what's my idea here. He's not doing d5. I'm going to go pawn to a4. I sacked a pawn against moving Dutchman. I'm hoping my king is safer. And now Carvallis. Any tricky business here? I'm thinking of just going knight to g5. Which knight to g5? Does it matter? I'm going to do knight on f to g5. Knight on e to g5. Pardon. Okay, what's happening? Trivial Pursuit. So I went b3. He's hassling my my c3 pawn a little bit, but my knight's on b1. I'm going to go queen e2 and work on his b5 pawn. Queen takes g3 check against Aslan must be good. Coming out fast against Hayend. Good question. So I come out fast. Will it amount to anything? What's the deal here? I'm looking at bishop g5, gaining another tempo, gaining more time. What's the situation with that? Let's see. He'll be hitting b2. I'm looking at other moves here. Knight to g5. Hold on. Knight to g5, hitting f7. All right, I got that. That's what I'm going to do. Knight g5 hits f7, h7, and e5. Feels pretty nice. Chess for him has gone. Rook to a7, and now I'm looking at queen h5 possibly. What does he do about that f5 pawn? Queen h5 looks nice. I'm doing it. Okay, now h6 from Brian Wood. Do I get my queen side going? Do I push c5 right away, or do I need any preparation? I'm pushing c5 right away, although I have to see what if he does is any rook e1 tricks. No, I'm pushing c5 right away. Okay, I've distracted Trivial Pursuit. He's now gone rook b8, so that now my c3 pawn is okay. I'm thinking of putting my rook down there on a7 or something like that just to bother him. Okay, now, so against Aslan, we got king a8. Okay, so now I'm looking to see, I'm up 2 pawns, everything's nice. I could snatch a 3rd pawn, I don't know. I don't need that many pawns to win, really. So I think that I need to calm down here and just play heir and play a3. Okay, queen f5, bishop d7 from Monterrey. and I'm looking around here. What's a good move here? I'm thinking of maybe going queen to d3 to offer him a queen trade. Let me do that. Queen d3, offer a queen trade. Queen c6 from Raster. I'm going to go bishop to f3. King b8 from Moving Dutchman. And now I'm looking to see, I feel like I should take on c6. I think my king's a little safer than his. Bishop takes d3 from Touch This. And Touch This wants to snatch a pawn on b2. And he'll get the snatch. So I have to take back. It feels to me like this is the only game where I got a problem. All right, now, Hayen has gone queen to f6. What's the situation with this? The first thing I'm looking at is, do I have knight takes f7? Knight takes f7, good question. Lots of move orders here. I can also trade queens and then go knight takes f7. I want to do it, obviously, the one that has the most effect. I don't know. Knight takes f7. Where are the discoveries after that do some damage for me? I don't know. Queen takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Knight takes f7, threatening discovered checks and winning his knight on e8, but I'm not entirely clear on that, to tell you the truth. Knight takes f7 straight off, maybe. What's the deal with that? And he goes rook takes. All right, I'm doing knight takes f7 straight out. Okay, queen to f6 from Aslan. And so, I don't know. I'm very tempted here to trade rooks and take another pawn. Is there anything wrong with that? Because I have it's a back rank situation. I'm trading off all the rooks, taking another pawn. Okay, Moving Dutchman, lining my rook up on his queen seems like a sensible thing to do. Pawn takes c5 against Brian Wood, get some pawns going. And now let's see what Buckeye is. Buckeye, I'm going to go a5 and see if I can get the usual Sicilian thing and paralyze his queen side a little bit. Okay, Monterey has gone queen to f6. And now I'm thinking about just playing a little defense here. I'm looking at king to... I'm wondering if I can go king to h2, followed by rook to g1. Maybe put my rook on g3 or something like that. And just play a little defense. All right, I think I'm going to try that, see how it goes. King h8, chess for him. Chess for him's in big trouble here. I'm just going to snatch on f5. I'm trading rooks against Aslan. Bishop takes b2, Touch This. All right, so I'm down the exchange, and I have one pawn. It's not the best thing we've ever seen, but I suppose it's okay for me. I'm going to go rook to d1. Moving Dutchman has gone rook to e8, counterattack. And now I'm wondering what to do here. I'm looking at all kinds of moves. I have in-between moves like knight to d4. So it feels like, all right, I'm just going to go queen to d2 and get out of the way. All right, now this is it for Aslan, about to be up 3 pawns. I think I'm just going to take on g7. I don't see perpetual checks for him at all. Okay, now Brian Wood has just gone rook to e8. And he's threatening e4. So what's happening here? I'm going to play queen to b3. All right, rook takes f7 from Hayen, and I'm checking out rook takes e5 here. Seems like a sensible move. And what's going on? Am I just winning there? I don't know. I don't see anything for him. Buckeye has gone queen to e7. And now I'm going to see what's going on. Can I go bishop to b6, make him go rook d7? He's got a lot of pieces on d5, so maybe he's trying to get d5 in. He might be able to do it. I'm looking at knight to d5 here myself, but then he can take on d5 and do something. Bishop to b6. I can go bishop to g5 also and take the pressure off, but then he might have ideas. c2 is hanging. Bishop to b6 feels like the right move there. Okay, queen check against Aslan. I take on, I just go king a2. I gave myself air, and it was nice air. And now, okay, Carvallis has gone queen e7, and now I'm looking at ideas here. Things like d4 to crack them open. What is knight takes knight, knight check king there? I could get his dark squared bishop in some positions. which may not be bad. What if I just go d4 here and try to open him up? Does that do anything? So it's between d4 and knight e6, I feel. Any tricks? I'm always looking, there's no, I'm looking to see is somehow can I arrange to have a knight show up on g6 with mate? I don't really see a way to do that. And what else? Knight takes knight, knight g5. I don't know. I think d4 sort of feels like the right move there. Okay, a5 from roster. And so he simply wants to get b4 in there. Very reasonable. And what do I want to do to take the steam out of it? Is a good question. He takes and he goes and he if I leave everything where it is and goes c4, then he's got a nice place for his knight on c5. Let's see, knight to b3. What's that about? Knight to b3 hits a5. Does that do anything? I don't know if that does anything. I'm going to try knight to b3. I don't know what it does. I'm trying to provoke some stuff. We got queen c5 from moving Dutchman, so he's walking into discoveries, but I don't really see a good discovery for me. I could go knight e4, but I don't really see the point of that. He'll get 2 rooks for the queen, and that's got to be pretty good for him. So what's a good thing to do here? I don't know. Does a4 do anything? Does sacrifices with pawn to b4? Does that do something? I don't know. I mean, I think I'm going to try a4, and that might just force a6. So I don't know if that's a big deal there. So we'll see. All right, now chess for him is offering a trade of queens, and he's down a lot of material. But his king is open. But somehow it seems to be a pretty easy win for me, doesn't it? So I'm just going to trade queens. And queen d5 check from Aslan, and I just go b3, and I think once he's out of checks, I'm up a lot of pawns, right? Okay, Buckeye has gone rook to d7. What's the story here? Is he threatening knight to d5 at some moment? I'm wondering if I should go knight to d5 here. What would he take it with? A lot of ideas here. I mean, the big question is he ready to go d5 on the next move is what I'm wondering. So I have to be careful because if he gets d5 in, it's going to be pretty good for him. So that's the question here. So I'm looking at knight d5. He could take with the b, and I take with the e, and he goes bishop f5. I mean, I might have to do that. I don't know how happy I am about this. All right, and any other things? All right, I'm gonna try knight to d5 there. Okay, now what's happened with Hayen here? So I trade queens. He takes back with what? I don't trade queens. I have to be a little careful. I mean, I mean somehow there's got to be a way for me to win nice material here, or at least end the game. Queen takes f6. He'd have to take back with the rook or the knight. I'm gonna try queen takes f6. That looks good, and I got my pawn back. And I have the bishop here. It should be okay. Bishop takes f6. Chess for him. I'm gonna go rook to a3. A5 from Aslan, and now let's see what's the best way for me to do this. I could snatch another pawn, and that's, as long as he doesn't have any perpetual checks, I could keep on snatching pawns. So what's happening here now? I'm gonna go pawn to a4 and see if I can put an end to stuff there. Queen b4 from moving Dutchman, and a sensible looking move to stop my discovered attacks. And now I'm looking to see what to do here. Looking at knight b4, stuff like that. I don't know. Is he really going to bother me on the b3 square? Hard to say. I think I'm going to trade off all rooks. Knight c5 from Trivial Pursuit. What's he up to here? I'm going to try rook to d1. A5 from Chess for him. I'm just going to take it. Bishop to e5 from Touch This. Decent move for him, and now I'm looking to see what should I do here. Trading down, he's up the exchange. Probably he's better. All right, I'm going to take on D4. I think my exchange sack was a faulty concept. Okay, now what's happening here with Aslan? I could snatch, like I said, I could snatch more pawns here. I got a lot of checks. Do I want to? Let me check myself closer here. I'm going to check on F8 and see if I could give him some checks and see if that does anything. Now, is rookie 1 curtains for chess for him? Rook on double rooks. Try and get rid of that A pawn. Bishop G5 against Hayen looks pretty nice. Let's see. D4 against touch. This seems reasonable, although that exchange sack. Knight takes F3 against Carvallis. Rook to G1. Checking rook to G1 against Monterrey. Checking on E7 against Aslan. Getting closer. Let's see. Eternal Warrior's thinking a lot. He went E5. Now, D5. Opening up the position, or is he opening up the position, or can he recapture on with a knight on a D5? Pawn takes C5 feels like a nice move. I'm going to go pawn takes C5. It feels right to open him up. Okay, chess for him has gone E4, and can I just go rook takes A5 now? Rook H8 from moving Dutchman. And what's going on here exactly? Any tricks here? Knight E5, stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, am I better here at all, or is it just maybe I should be a little better? But Knight E5, Bishop D7 from Hayen. He couldn't move his rook because of Bishop E7 mate. Now, it may still be the case that he still can't move his rooks. So does that mean I should double rooks? On the E file, looks good. Let's see, Knight E6 from Trivial Pursuit. And now I'm looking at F4 ideas here, and then he'll go Knight C6. So I don't know that that's any big deal for me there. I think my rook has my rook done enough work there. But F4 still feels like the right move. I'm gonna go F4. Rook E3 from touch this, and I think I'm gonna go D5 and try and make a pass pawn. I have to do something to bother him. Okay, now Aslan has gone King A6, and I'm gonna go Queen E2, and that's threatening to trade everybody down, right? Threatening huge trades all over the place. Rook takes E5 from moving Dutchman, and Rook C7 from chess for him. And now what's the easiest way? I should be able to maybe wrap this game up soon. What's a good way to do this? I'm thinking about just rook to A2 to protect. Get my rook out of the way and go rook A2. What about it? Let me just do that. Make sure I don't get back ranked. Okay, let's see. Let's retreat all the way back to A2 against Trivial Pursuit. Sorry, not A2. Now, how many pawns am I up against Aslan again? Bishop E8 from Monterrey, and that looks like a good move. So now let's see. If I go rook to G3, are we all tied up here? I'm going to go rook to G3. Trivial Pursuit, Queen C8, and I'm looking to see if I could go pawn to B4. Bishop G4 from Hayen, and let's see. His rook still can't move. I could go bishop takes at some moment and then maybe get a rook to maybe get some rooks on the 7th. I think I'm just going to go H3. Queen takes A5 from Aslan. He is down now 4 pawns. Queen takes D5 against touch this. Bishop H5 from Hayen. And let's see what's the deal here. Sometimes I'm going to go G4 and just push him off the board. What about G4 there? Okay, now Aslan, I'm just going to check him around and try and not give him a pass H-pawn, I think, is what would bother me. But my A-pawn is closer, so... All right, let's see what to do here. I'm going to take on F6 against Hayen and take the exchange. Bishop C3 against chess for him. And I think that, do I want to, what's my best move here? Just to go rook A7 probably? And that looks good. Bishop G6 from Monterey, as we expected. And I shall go queen to E3. And now I'm going to check Aslan again on... I'm gonna go queen D7 check and take his H pawn. And then I'll have pass pawns all over the place. C6 from Carvallis. And now I'm looking to see how do I want to work on him here. Pawn takes pawn and bishop F4 I was thinking about. Bishop F4 straight off. Does it do anything? It's a good question. Pawn takes pawn. I'm going to go pawn takes pawn and bishop F4 seems reasonable. Okay, hey, and I'm going to take on F7. And I'm going to take on H7 against Aslan. And then I'm just going to push my pawns. All right, what's happening here? Touch this has gone queen E8. And that feels like a good move. Lots of trades all over the place. I think I'm going to try king to H2 and get out of the way. Rook D8 from Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to go bishop to B3. My bishop looks good on that diagonal. Ears has gone rook FD8, and I think that I just go rook to D1. Maybe we're going to have a lot of rook trades. And now bishop to C3 for chess for him. And E7 seems like pretty strong to me. Rook check. Moving Dutchman has gone queen to B6. Okay, now what do I have any way to bother him here? Looking at A5s. Let's see, A5s and then Germany tied the score 1-1. Well, so I'm looking at A5. Where will moving Dutchman go after A5? All right, let's try A5. Rook C4. Buckeyes put in an in-between move. Looks like a good move. And he may get to take my my E4 pawn. So I missed this, and this looks good. What can I do about this? He's snatching the E4 pawn. All right, so I'm just gonna go queen D2, play down a pawn. What can I do? And now let's just push up. I'm making sure my queen is attached. I'm just gonna push my H pawn against Aslan, and that should be pretty nice. Bishop F6 against Trivial Pursuit. And now I got to see that C pawn's been bothering me for a long time. How do I develop? I got to defend that C pawn. It's just annoying me. All right, now let's see what to do here against Hayen. This is he's in big trouble here. I think I'm just going to go F4 and try to mate him. Queen D8 from moving Dutchman, and I'm looking around here, and I don't know. I'm better, but where I have to be careful of anything here. Queen E3, I have to be careful that I don't get myself forked. I mean, I could just go queen takes queen and rook F5 and maybe be okay there. I don't know if that's an advantage for me, though. So that would be queen. I don't know. I'm going to try queen takes queen and rook E7 maybe and see what happens. Okay, Buckeye has managed to snatch a pawn, and it's a good pawn. It's a damn good pawn for him. All right, bishop takes E4. Rook C8, a good move from touch this, blocking the passed pawn before it gets going. I'm going to go rook to D4 against touch this, see if I'm going to try to hang on. Hayen has gone knight to D5, and I'll put my other rook on E6. I think I'm winning a piece there. And now I'm going to go rook to E7 against moving Dutchman. What's better, rook E7 or rook F5? Good question. I'm going to go rook F5. Now against Hayen, I'm going to just go G5 and win a piece. Bishop to E4 for Monterey. And now, so he's got me a little bit tied up. Is that right? All right, I'm just going to go king to G1 then. And protect that. Pawn takes, F6 against Hayen. I'm up a piece. D5 from Carvallis. Now, I don't know if I took that move into consideration. He's killed my bishop. All right, so now I'm going to switch diagonals, go bishop to C2. H6 from touch this, another good move, making some air. And now I'm looking for, if I go rook E4 and trade, I'm not convinced that my passed pawn is enough there. So what sort of thing can I do here? All right, I'm going to go rook A4. No, I can't go rook A4. I'm going to try rook to B4. And see if I could get some play. Moving Dutchman's gone rook to D6. and I'm just going to go f3. King f5 from Hayen. He's down a whole rook. Rook takes c6. Queen c7 from Raster, defending the pawn. I'm going to go rook to c1. I was trying to take the steam out of some of his ideas there. Ears has gone knight d6, and I think knight g3 seems okay for me. And what's Hayen doing to me now? I think I'm just going to keep. Actually, why don't I just drop back a rook to e2 and just stop some stuff is all. Okay, so moving Dutchman's gone a6, and I'm going to come up with my king. King to f1 seems okay. Now, what do we do against Carvallis? At some moment, I'm looking at, looking at bishop to f4 maybe, pawn to e6. All right, bishop to f4 looks like a reasonable move there. And rook takes, check against Hayen, and then he's going to go king g3 and try to mate me. And I'm going to go rook e3 check and send and not get mated and just continue to take stuff. How about let's back his king up one more just in case. All right, queen c7 from Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to go rook c2, queen e5 check. Touch this has traded queens. And now against Hayen, I'm going to take, which pawn should I take? I'm going to take the a6 pawn. Rook e5 from touch this. And now I have to see what's the deal here. I'm going to go rook to b7. Maybe I'm bothering a little bit. We got to see. Okay, now movement Dutchman has gone pawn to b5. And do I want to go en passant there or not? I think I should go en passant. Rook check from Hayen. I don't know why he's not resigning. It's pretty bad. Rook takes b6 from moving Dutchman. And I'm going to slide my king over to the queen side and defend my b2 pawn. h6 from Monterey. Okay, and now we got to see. Everybody's all tied up here. I don't know what to do. I don't know if there's if I can move anything here. If I go, let's say I go knight to d. I don't know. I mean, the knight to d4 or e5. I don't know. All right, pawn to b4. Pawn to b4. What is pawn to b4? He takes on b4, and then what? All right, I'm going to try pawn to b4. I mean, this is a weird game. Rook takes e4. Buckeye has snatched a pawn, and it's a good pawn. Yep, very good pawn, and I'm just going to have to try to play here, but it's not going to be a pretty situation. Let's see. Queen b7 from Trivial Pursuit. I'm just going to develop with knight to d2. Touch this has gone a6. And now I'm going to see what to do here. I feel like my exchange sack. I had a feeling it wasn't good when I did it. I thought my opening was pretty good, though. I'm going to try here. I'm looking at rook to b6. He might, but he just defends his stuff. So I'm going to go rook to a7 and see if I could dig up some stuff here. Here comes moving Dutchman's king. My king's coming over. His king's coming over. And everybody's king's coming over. Probably it's a draw. I'm going to try rook b1 against Eternal Warrior. I'm trying to jump him before he gets castled. Okay, we got Trivial Pursuit has gone rook to a8. What's he trying to do to me there? Yeah, the big question in the Trivial Pursuit game is at what moment will I ever go f5? That's what I'm warning about. I'm thinking about f5 right here maybe, but I give him the e5 square, but I don't know if he could use it because maybe my bishop's going to d5. I'm looking for e5 tricks also. I think I'm just going to go f5 against Trivial Pursuit and see if I could get on with it over there. Okay, so we got Buckeye has gone queen to e6, another good move. And I'm looking to see, I don't know if anywhere I could bother his rook. I don't think so. It always has a rook to c4 again. So I'm going to try, I don't know, I'm going to try bishop to g5 and just see what happens and play a little bit. Okay, rook touch this has gone rook to c6. And this is a good move. and I'm gonna try some checks. I think that it's probably just winning there. Okay, now against Eternal Warrior, I got him stuck in the middle here. How do I increase the pressure on him? It's a big question here. It feels like I should be able to do something to him here. I don't know. I'm gonna try Queen A4 and see if I could get in there before he does something. Just trying to touch this a little bit. Okay, we got Trivial Pursuit to go Knight F8. I'm gonna go Bishop to D5. At some point, I'm going to make some attack somewhere, but I got him tied up nice. I got him tied up on the diagonal, so I got him tied up nice. All right, moving Dutchman, fancy forks here. I could take on F6. What is this ending though? What is the ending after I take on F6? He has to take with the rook, and then I go Knight D5. And do I get to the other side fast? All right. So rook takes F6, and what does he take it with? King is there. Rook, okay. Rook F6, G5 from Fedorowicz. Wow. All right. Now, knight takes G5 is tempting. No. Okay, so we got touch. This is coming up with his king, and I'm going to come up with my king. Check against moving Dutchman. He comes up. I take his rook. And then I head to the other side. And what's going on? Okay, well, we have Eternal Warrior has gone pawn to C4. Trying to keep it locked. I'm trying to open it. So how do I open it here? I'm looking at pawn takes pawn, and if he goes pawn takes pawn, I don't know. Rook E1 check might actually help him. Any sacrifices anywhere? Let's see. Pawn takes pawn. I'm gonna try pawn takes on D5 and see if I could open him up. Queen takes H5 against Fedorowicz. What does he block this with? Okay, let's get over there. Moving Dutchman's king. It feels right to go now. Oh, yep. King to B C3 has got to be the right first one, and E5 from Monterey. What is going on with this now? So I have to take. What do I take with? Can I take with the pawn and then the knight? Take with the knight first. He takes. If worse comes to worse, I'd have a rook C6. I don't want to do that. So let's go knight takes E5 and see what's the story. Pawn takes for Eternal Warrior. I was really getting greedy here, looking for piece sacks. I don't know. Are there piece sacks here somewhere? You know, something where I gang up on his, on C6, let's say. So right now I'm looking at knight takes C4, pawn takes C4, bishop takes C4. And I don't know if that even does anything there. Rook E1 check, bishop moves and just move back. Well, I don't know. What is that? I mean, I don't know if that's an advantage for me, but it's reasonable, so I'm going to go for it. I mean, I'm sure a computer would come up with something weird here. Some kind of thing like knight, with knight E5 and knight takes B7, rook takes B7. But we'll just go rook check and calm down. Okay, rook C4, nice move from Buckeye. And I'm just playing moves here at this point. I'm gonna go Queen E2. Pawn takes E5 against Monterey. And now what's Trivial Pursuit is bothering me, but I don't know. I think that knight B3 might be really annoying for him to deal with. Okay, now let's see what's happening with Monterey. What's his threat here? His threat is pawn to D4, right? And so I have to move my rook somewhere. Well, I got to be careful where I move my rook. Queen takes H6. I don't know. Is that what I mean? He might have D4. He's got a lot of moves there. Rook to C5 seems like it might be a good move. Anything else here? Well, I'm gonna try rook to c5. G4 from moving Dutchman. Now what's the counting here? All right, I'm just gonna go king to b4. Touch this has gone f6, and I'm going to play. I'm going to go h4. I think touch this is just up the exchange there. All right, now what's happening here? Queen b8 with Trivial Pursuit. Trivial Pursuit is unpinning his knight, but I think I'm going to play. I mean, at some point I'm going to hassle his f7 pawn. That's got to be the right thing to do. I don't know. Queen h5 here. What does he do? Does he have knight to e7 sometimes? That's a good question. Does he have knight to e7? So if he has knight to e7, I really want to keep my bishop there. So I don't want knight to e7 to happen. I'm going to try queen to h5. d5 from Buckeye. I'm going to just go c3. Pawn takes pawn against moving Dutchman. Knight d7 from Raster. And I'm going to try bishop to g4 against Raster, see if I could discombobulate him a little bit. And now, where should I put my bishop against Eternal Warrior? Bishop c2. Do I have to be concerned about my queen in that position? I'm going to try bishop to c2. I don't know. I feel like I should have had more on this. And now Raster has gone against Raster. I'm going to take on d7 and try for a good knight versus a bad bishop deal. Some kind of deal like that. All right, Trivial Pursuit's gone rook to d7. And now I'm looking to see it. Rook a8. Now, if I go rook a1, does he have knight takes b4? Rook a1, knight takes b4. Good question. So, I mean, is he just threatening to move his knight somewhere? I feel like I got this under control, but, you know, still have to be a little careful about it. All right, now, I don't want to give him my c3 pawn. Pushing with g4. What's the deal with that? Okay, but he's threatening. But I think he's threatening knight takes b4, right? All right, I'm just going to go back rook to a c1 and protect my stuff. All right, now let's see what's happening with moving Dutchman here. We're in a race, and I'm going to go king a5 and h5, and let's see here. Touch this is one where my position is not good, but I don't know. I gotta try anyway. Let's see what to do here. Any chances for anything? I'm gonna try king. I'm gonna try king to f4. Desperation there. Okay, knight. Now I don't want to go. If I go knight to d2 against Raster, what's the story there? All right, I don't know. Knight to d2. Probably this is just an equal position. Buckeye's gone pawn to d4. I'll go pawn takes pawn. Bishop takes g5 against Corvallis. Trade queens against Buckeye. Trying to do something. Knight f1 against Eternal Warrior. And now, what's the score here? Corvallis is down. How many pawns have I traded the queens? First of all, if I don't trade the queens, what's the deal? I mean, he gets f2, and I go king to h1. And then how does he protect h6? All right, I'm going to sack the pawn right near my king. Okay, we got moving Dutchman's gone h5. What's the deal here with the race? Okay, I'm just going to take a6 and make a race. I'm going to try bishop takes against Buckeye and try for some good knight versus bad bishop, any kind of thing. It's terrible, but I'll give it a shot. And now let's see, any blocking business. That pawn on a5 might not help in this position some. All right, I'm going to try knight to d2. Moving Dutchman. It's got to be right for me to just go b4. Rook c2 from Buckeye. I'll go knight e4. I think this is just resignable. King h1 against Corvallis might be the winning move. h6 is hanging. How can he protect it? And e8 is hanging too. All right, king f5 for moving Dutchman. And it looks like we're both queening. I queen first. Simul going for an hour and a half. Nice. And seems like, it's good games. Now, I don't know what this position is. Maybe it's a draw. F pawns, king running all over the place. Who the heck knows? Okay, now, so Buckeye has gone king f7. That's a good move. And now, I don't know. It's pretty resignable for me here, I guess. So we'll just go a few more moves and see what the story is. Let me check Buckeye around a little bit. You never know. Maybe something will happen. I got it. I'll defend both pawns and see. Let's see what here at Monterey. I go back. What should I go back with? I'm going to go back with the rook and block to check. Moving Dutchman. Should I go? Does it make sense to go f5 check? He's going to have a million checks at some point. This is for certain. Now, I don't see any way to trade queens here, so I don't know. Is there any way to just put my queen somewhere and protect everybody and get my king closer? I kind of doubt it. Okay, let's see. Monterey's going queen e5. I think against Monterey, if it's a draw, it's a sensible result. I'm going to resign against Buckeye. So he came up with a very good idea there. All right, now, moving Dutchman, I'm going to try and get my king closer. And it looks like a draw with Monterey. And, an abnormal and a pretty crazy game, but a solid game. And draw by repetition against Monterey. So, French defense, crazy stuff. King b6, Dutchman's thinking. Let's see what happens here. The good thing is, can't lose. Can't lose, might win, probably not, but you never know. Rook takes e5 from Corvallis. And now we got to see what's this one. Okay, I go rook takes e5. And what is he up to here? Ears wants to trade the queens. Now, if we trade the queens, what's this going on with the c4 square is the question. Or I'm going to trade, I guess. Well, I don't know. I don't know if I'm worried about the c4 square. I think I have to keep the queens on against ears. Queen b3. What is this? What is Corvallis doing to me? All right, I take his queen. I don't think I'm getting mated. All right, let's get closer with my king to move in Dutchman. He's got a million checks. And now what's going on against Eternal Warrior? Bishop g5 feels like it should be a move. G3 against Corvallis looks good, and I think that one's over. Okay, now we got to see what to do here against moving Dutchman. Is it just a draw? I'm going to try and get my king over. D5 from Raster. Raster broke with D5. Thematic break. Yeah, it's good. I got to take it. And now what's going on with Trivial Pursuit? How can I make an attack on him here? It would be nice to get my rook up there somewhere. Pushing the G pawns, I don't know. I feel like I should try to win this without opening up my king. I'm going to go rook to D3. Rook check against Corvallis, king to G1, and that should be it for that one, I think. Queen F3 against Raster. Moving Dutchman's queen's getting closer. I want to make sure I don't mate myself. We've seen things like that. So I'm looking at king to E5, just making sure that I don't get mated. So I don't think I'm getting mated. I'm gonna go king to E5. Knight E5 from Trivial Pursuit. And I will retreat. Where should I? Well, I might have helped them a little bit. I'm gonna go now. The big question here is, did I lose a C pawn? Wow, if I lost my C pawn, that's not good, and then he's forking me. So I did not see this one at all. All right, I'm afraid that I'm afraid I blundered there in a good position, and that's okay. Well, that's the way it goes. So now let's see what's happening here with Eternal Warrior. Eternal Warriors really put together a decent position out of something that didn't look so hot. Bishop to F5, F6 from Raster. Let's see, trade rooks. I don't know, 93. Now, probably in this game, I'm worse trying to draw a little bit. Trying to draw. I don't know. I don't know if C4 is any good. I'm going to try C4. Queen check for moving Dutchman, and I'm going to go king to F5. Queen C5, removing Dutchman. And now let's see. So he's getting the Queen G1 checks. So he's getting checks over there. I think probably this should be a draw now. Queen E5 check. Okay, Rook takes C3 from Trivial Pursuit. Hitting a lot of stuff here. Now, he played a better move than what I thought. Now, what to do here? But he can't take. Okay, the good news, maybe he can't take on D3 with the knight, though. All right, so can I do bishop to D4? Okay, check on from moving Dutchman, and I think that that it should just be a draw here. I'm going to go Queen E4. Check, and then Queen E5, and that should be a draw. All right, my queen will retreat against Eternal Warrior. Offer to draw to moving Dutchman, and that should about do it. So it was a tough game. All right, good game though. Good game. Okay, back to Eternal Warrior. So let's see. I seem to be in trouble in 2 games, I think. Eternal Warrior is getting himself into bad time pressure. Rook takes D3 from Trivial Pursuit, and I go Rook takes D3. I'm lucky that bishop's on D5, and I have some business going on F7. Otherwise, this one would have been another screw up of a perfectly good position. Also, I don't know, on Rook takes D3, well, I don't know if I miss anything here, so. Knight D7 from Trivial Pursuit, And so he's got knights defending his position. Can I go, I don't know, can I go Rook to C3? Does that make any sense? Let's see. Yeah, all right, I'll try Rook to C3. Looks like touch this has gone Rook to E1, so his rooks are starting to run around a little bit. How can I even make a threat is a good question. So his rooks are starting to run around on the back rank some. I don't know. I'm gonna let's see. I was hoping for some miracle attack somewhere. All right, I'm gonna try G3. Rook takes C3, Bishop C3 against Trivial Pursuit. Against Raster, I was going to go. Let's see. Can I just go? If I go Rook takes C3, it's 4. But then he's bothering my pawn. I was thinking about going knight to E3, but I'm not sure about this. I have to be careful. C4 is not a completely clear move here, whether it was good for me or not. So let's see. What other attempts can I do here? I'm going to try knight to E3. We got Eternal Warriors gone G6, and I'm going to go bishop. I guess I go back bishop H3. Eternal Warriors thinking. Let's see if there's any other games around. Aslan was down a lot of pawns. He finally resigned. His opening wasn't bad though. He was playing solidly, and then and then he ran into trouble. Um, Now let's see. Let's see here. Touch this has gone rook to b1, so that's he's just gonna start bothering my b pawn at some point. And the thing is, I mean, with these rooks on the board, I mean, I really don't have any king cover. So so I can't reason. I think I'm going to resign against touch this. My exchange sack did not work there. Okay, let's trade rooks, queens against raster, f6 against eternal warrior. Now I'm looking at bishop to h6, I guess. I'm wondering about other things here. Bishop e6 is bishop h6 first must be right. Knight takes c4 against raster. And now, what? How do I want to do this against Eternal Warrior? How do I bother him? His knights really are doing a good job at defending this position. It's really doing a good job at defending the position. So I don't know. I mean, if I could have got my queen in there, maybe something would have happened. I don't know if knight e3 does anything. So all right, I'm just it's a good, it's a decent position. Now we got ears. What's ears up to here? Let's see. I think I'm just going to go rook to d3 against ears and take my time. A4 against raster. Now, I don't know. What's the deal with A4? Fixing the pawn. My knight on C4 is defending people, though, for the moment. So I think I'm just going to try G3. Trivial Pursuit's gone queen to C8. And that's that. Now how's he pestering me now? He's bothering my bishop. But what's the next thing that he can do? All right, I'm just going to go bishop to d2 and try and keep my stuff defended here. Knight d7 from ears, threatening some knight c5 stuff, perhaps. Let's see. So, all right, I'm just going to back up my queen then. Queen c2 from Trivial Pursuit. Everybody's defended, though, right? All my stuff's defended. Is that right? So I'm wondering, is my king any safer on h2 than it was on the other place? Not really certain of that. So, but I'm gonna put my king on h2. So I haven't tied down f7. So that's the thing that's saving me here. Aha. Knight b6 from Trivial Pursuit. This was the kind of move that I was keeping an eye on. That might be a strong move there. I don't know what to do. All of a sudden, all my pieces are hanging. I think I had easy wins in this game, and now I think it's just lost. So I really screwed that one up. So not playing too well in this simul today. Not playing well at all. Missing a lot of stuff, but I guess it happens. What can you do? All right, let's see. Ears is getting into tremendous time pressure here. Okay, Eternal Warrior has gone bishop to f4. Do I have any tricks on him here? Now I'm looking for trick. Rook takes b6 is a weird one. I don't know. Does it work? I'm going to try rook takes b6. At this point, could lead to more losses. What can you do? So let's see what Eternal Warrior does there. Rook B6. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's got other moves. Okay, ears, knight c5. I'm looking to see if bishop takes c5 does anything. I'm just going to go rook d5. This game's gotten a lot of maneuvering. Okay, now what's happening with Eternal Warrior here? There's back rank stuff that I didn't take into consideration here. But, I mean, I don't know. Can he get something towards the back rank is the question. All right, knight takes. I don't know. I'm going to go knight takes d5. There's things hanging all over the place in this game. Knight e6 from ears. Okay. And now what is something for me to do here? What is he trying to do? Is he trying to go he protected his knight? Is he trying to just go knight to c4? All right, I'm going to go b3. Knight takes d5. I have to go knight takes e1 against Eternal Warrior. And now, what the heck's going on here? There's stuff hanging all over the place. Everything is hanging. Everything. My God, I don't know what is this. Ears has gone queen to d8. Does he have any threats? I'm just making sure my rook doesn't get trapped. Is knight f4 anything to worry about? I'm going to go knight e2 anyway. Very positional game. I have nice clock, though. I mean, Ears is getting in some time pressure. Okay, Ears has retreated. And now it's we have a lot of rooks about to get traded. I'm wondering about pawn to b4. Just to keep trying to box his knights out. Hoping, someday that my light squared bishop might do something. All right, let's trade rooks. He's going to take back. Well, I'll trade rooks. And now I got to see what's the best way for my light squared bishop to try and do something. I'm going to see if I can get it to a better diagonal than where it is now. Bishop h2 check from Eternal Warrior. Now, so where do I go here? I feel like I should keep an eye on his bishop, right? Yeah, I'm going to go king h1. All right, now Ears has gone queen e7. And I'm going to go, let's see, what's making sure nothing happens. Go g3. Try and get this light squared bishop going. It could be a very useful piece if it catches the right diagonal at some point. Oh, I don't know. Ears c5. Interesting. All right. Well, now the only thing is, if that that makes his dark squares look worse. I always think about a game that I used to that I show at chess camps where Bob Vinnick beat a Dutch IM Szilagyi. Bob Vinnick got his bishop to c4 and did some good work on the squares. So, all right, now what's happening here with Eternal Warrior? He's threatening my knight. So I could take a pawn on f6, and then he takes. What's the deal? I could take on b6 here. And then what is that? I mean, taking on b6. Well, I'm going to try to take on b6 and see. I'm taking stuff, but I'm a little concerned about back ranks. I have knight f3 ideas. Okay, h5 from Ears, and I'm going to go h4. Germany's playing with 10 men. Wow, that's not good. And it's 1-1, so I don't know if they make a tie, if they still have a chance or not. So take a look at that game, Botvinnik Szilagyi. Like maybe it was from like Vikings A 1967, or maybe it was Amsterdam or something. But it was You know, it was an interesting light square demonstration kind of game. But Ears is defending well here. I think Ears is doing a pretty good job here. Okay, now what's happening here? I don't know. I'm gonna offer him a trade of queens and see if I could use the light squares in the ending. Also, another good game that I like in this variation is Balashov against Podevsky. Look that one up. I mean, it's the classical against the perk is pretty good. When I was Walter Brown's coach, I mean, he won nice games with this opening. So, so that's pretty much why I play it, because I was Walter Brown's coach and we were doing this. Okay, now let's see what's happening against Ears here. In this King G7, I'm looking at Bishop C4 ideas. Wondering if Bishop takes E6 will ever be a good move. I think I'll just go Knight to B3. Looks okay. Rook E1 from Eternal Warrior with the back rank ideas. And now, what is my story here? Knight F3. I'm trying to figure out if it's a move. Knight F3, and then who knows here? Maybe I just have to defend somebody on the back rank here. Suppose I just go Bishop to D2 or Queen to D2. I don't know. Bishop to D. What is the deal with? Let me try Bishop to D2 just to back up that bishop. It could get trapped there anyway. Bishop E7 from Ears, okay. And let's see. So a lot of maneuvering. And now I'm checking out Bishop to C4. I'm wondering where will my king be any good is a good question. Now I'm against Ears. I don't know. If I go Bishop, let's say I go Bishop to C4 and he goes Knight D6. And I take. I don't know. All right, I'm going to try it. I mean, it could be, a good defense. Maybe it's a draw, but it's hard. Okay, Bishop F4 from Eternal Warrior, and I'm going to go Knight takes C4. Okay, Ears has gone Knight back to C7. I'm going to take on C5. Let's see what this ending is. Sometimes the ending might be good because he's got those pawns on the light squares. Okay, so we got Eternal Warrior has gone Queen to C7. And now I'm just looking here. If I don't get back rank, maybe it's pretty good for me. I'm going to try Knight to E3 and just try to cover up a little bit. I got 2 pawns for the exchange. Yeah, it's another bogus exchange sack. And we'll see if this one works out better than the other one. I guess let's see. Now, what happens here? Sweden and Mexico. And I don't know if Germany's kaput after this game. But there seems to be a minute left, and it's 1-1. Okay, Knight takes C5 against Ears. Probably Bishop takes C5. I'll go Bishop takes C5. He takes back. I go King F1. What is this business here? I go King E2. Do I have winning chances here by... Well, suppose I even get my king all the way. Does he have a blockade draw? That's another question. He leaves his knight on C7. Maybe I don't have any entry points. Could be. So then how do I go about doing this? Then I have to try to do some with the kingside pawns. King G7 from Eternal Warrior. Now, I mean, it's I keep, I mean, what happens on knight d4 here again? I mean, am I getting back? Are there back rank things? I mean, it's just this happened before, and I thought knight d4 was a good move, and now I'm looking to see if knight d4 again is a good move. Like, Germany somehow scored. Holy God! Wow, with like about 5 seconds left in the game, that's unbelievable. All right, so let's see. If I go knight to d5, let's see. I go knight there. It's just a mess. This thing. All right, I'm knight d5. Does he have a queen sack? I'm wondering. All right, I'm going to go knight d5. I'm very confused. His whole position, but he doesn't have any time. So if he's confused, then that's a good thing for me. So I still got 47 minutes left, but he's got under a minute, and I really don't know what sort of like ridiculous thing we've done here. I mean, I think if I get to take his queen, then his rook seems to be going with check. I suppose his in between moves, but who knows? Let's see. So I hope everybody enjoyed the simul. I'll be seeing you at some point in late July, I think. All right, so now we got we have an interesting business here against Eternal Warrior. He's taken on this. I'm going to take on c7. He takes on c2, but I take with check. Okay, Ears is gone now. So Ears has got this knight thing. Now, all right, I'm going to try. Ears has to be a little careful. I'm going to try king d3. Probably it's a draw. Now, Eternal Warrior, there's things hanging all over the place for us here. I assume I got, I'm going to go bishop takes f4, right? And then he takes that one. I seem to have come out up a piece here. Is that right? He missed a check. Okay. All right. That was very confusing. Eternal Warrior. I felt, but that your knight a5, the knight a5 thing was a little suspicious, right? So that was the situation. Now it says +5, but it's, I think, Germany won. Yep. All right. So I think Eternal Warrior, that opening, you've done this against me before, and it's a little suspicious. Okay. Any game's still going. Ears is still going. Let's see. Who else do we got here? Let's see. Aslan was out when Bronx. I don't know. What happened with Brian Wood? I don't think Brian Wood needed to resign in the position. Maybe he had to go somewhere. I don't think Brian Wood's position was bad at the end. I mean, I wasn't sure if he could snatch a pawn there. I was getting compensation. Carvallis just blundered at the end, but he played one suspicious move, h5. Hey, and Roster, why did Roster resign? I mean, he probably had to go somewhere. But look, if you played a good game, don't resign. Offer me a draw or something like that, because there's no, that's no fun to resign in a position that's pretty good. You know what I mean? And because it's a simul, it takes a few hours, and we'll just have to see. Okay, let's see what Ears is doing here. I'm looking to see like what my continuations are here. Maybe I'm trying to get G4 in and maybe try to see if I can make it past H pawn. But I mean, his knight on C7. Well, the thing is, my king. Now hold on. What Ears just went knight E6, and what happens if I take? King. I think Ears made a one-move blunder. I mean, I know it's not a nice position where your knight is not stuck, but I think that you got to just play F6 and hang around with the king, and then maybe, I don't know. I mean, maybe it's better. This position was better for me than I thought. It's funny, in the chess camp the other day, there were two kids, and they agreed to a draw in a position, and Black has some position where there's like a pawn on A6, and a pawn on b5. There's a pawn, and he goes bishop b7, and the knight has to stay on c7 forever. Yeah, ears. What did you just do? Exactly. So let's see if I think it's curtains here for ears, right? Yep. Oh, ears. Jesus. So, but maybe I don't know. I mean, I still have winning chances. I mean, my king coming up to c4, I might still be able to bother you. I think the main problem is that the pawns, the main problem would be the pawns on the light squares that getting bothered by the bishop. All right, now let's see against ears. What's the best way for me to do this? I have a feeling. I mean, maybe I don't. But taking the a pawn's got to be a win, right? But I could fool around a little bit and do something like this too, because I have a lot of pawn moves here. If this, yep. Sorry about that, ears. But ears, it's a nice ending to look at, to see if I had winning chances there, because it's the light squares, it's the pawn, it's the pawns on the light squares is what hurt you in this position. Okay, a5, and now king takes a5. Yeah, the pawns in the problems were the pawns on the light squares, and the bishop. Your king has to stay nearby. I don't know what that was. All right, so take a look at it here. It was an interesting game, but I really like that opening for white. I think that white gets like a solid slight to medium advantage after that move, knight e2 in the opening. Check the game, Balashov Podevsky. It's a good game. All right, any other games going here? Roster resigned. He was in a good position. Brian Wood, I don't know what happened there. Touch This played. Now, Touch This is thanks for letting me win. I never take it easy on people. I just play. Aslan 777 could have been more solid. Same with Carvallis. Check H5 in the opening, not good. Buckeye played very well. He came up with a nice trick, and he got into trouble with development and the bishop pair. Same can be said for Chespahem, and Jester just walked into a one mover in a position that was, the game was just getting started when 15 Rook F5 happened. So thanks to everybody. I'll see you in July. I suppose it's going to have to be late July. And my final score, 9 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses. Not the best simul, really. So if Ears shows up for the Canadian Open, we'll have to go out for a beer for sure. And I'll see like I said, I'll see everybody at some point in July. So thanks everybody. Thanks to Sandro for taking good care of us. And see everybody. Congratulations to Buckeye, Touch This, and Trivial Pursuit. Take care, everybody. See you next month.